This session needs to be delivered by our ED, Mr. R. Sarangpani Saab from NTPC, but because of some health issue, he could not join here. So I just representing him and putting our thoughts on behalf of NTPC in next 10 minutes. So basically, I am going to speak on the presentations on a corrosion problem in the thermal power plant. So since morning and since many years we are talking about the corrosion, so it's not an issue that what is the corrosion and what type of corrosion we are dealing with. But when we are coming to a thermal power plant, there are variations in thermal power plants and there are varied type of environments and structures in thermal power plant where the corrosion is getting affected. When we take about the corrosion, so there are lot many figures of the GDP or anything. So just a takeaway from the slide is that when we are talking about something related to our GDP, so it itself shows that how big the problem is. So not to go by the data of 3 or 4% or by 10%, but we have to take up that the problem is such a big thing that we are talking in terms of GDP nowadays. The forms of corrosion, what we learn from the different seminars and from the different workshops. Of course, we are not expert in this. The gathering is itself is so much expert in explaining these different forms of corrosion. Now coming to the power plants, that what different we are with relate to the corrosion. Actually, when we talk about the so many industries, I think the thermal power plants are one of the industry which are most affected because we are the most varied opportunities to invite corrosion. We have a plant location in all the part of the country, whether it is C1 or C5 category, it doesn't matter. We have the structures of varied height, whether it is underground up to 30 meter or maybe above ground about the 275 meter. We have a variety of structures. The corrosion effect is in all the type of structures. We have the presence of dust, moisture and chemicals, which are the main key players in the role of corrosion. When we talk about the structure size of the structures, we have a few meter structures as well as a few kilometers also. We have a high temperature, we have a high pressure, we have a high difficult areas for approach. So basically to talk upon that, we are the most affected industry related to corrosion. In our industry, what are the major factors which are affecting our structures and lead to the corrosion are the humidity, the probable presence of the coal dust. Of course, the plants are designed such that we should not face any coal dust or ash particles, but the practical problems could not be ignored. The presence of SOx, NOx and CO2. Plants in the coastal areas, then process related corrosions because there are many processes involved in the thermal plants, and of course the structures are mainly steel structures and steel structures are more prone to the corrosions. So combining all, I am just summarizing the corrosion in our thermal power plant in two categories. One is the process related, which we are facing in our different process related things, whether it could be a FGD plant or whether it could be a water treatment plant or whether it could be a boiler structure. These process related things we take care in the design parameters. But of course, we have to face the surprises. Then second is the environment. This is a common for all of us. So we have the structures, pipelines everywhere which are affected by the environment and corrosion. And these are the some unpredictable and dynamic things which we could not control. This I am just relating our presence of the thermal power plants with a corrosion map of the India. So just want to correlate that whatever the corrosion category in India is there, we have the presence in all the categories of areas. When I talk about the volume of the corrosion in our thermal plant industry, I just to correlate with the two figures of cost and area. The print procurement of yearly is maybe by the up to the value of the crores. 40 crore is just a figure. And when I am saying about the painting, the area of works involved in painting, it is few lakhs of painting in only a single system of coal handling plant. So I'm just quoting these two figures to correlate that how big the problem is for our industry. Just sharing the few of the problem areas in our structures. This I am just sharing few of pics of the small structures where we are facing the corrosion problem. Of course, these structures are small, but the effect on these small structures, it may be a staircase or it may be a railing or something like that. It could be a lot of safety hazards for us. Coming to the big structures of the coal galleries and even for the conveyor galleries, we are facing the lot of corrosion related issues. Because of the corrosion related issues, we have to do the continuous maintenance of the thing. I could not say that the structures are failing or like that, but a continuous maintenance, a continuous monitoring is required. A few more pics of the CHP galleries. Here we are having a CHP galleries of height up to 60 to 70 meters also. So to maintain them, to paint them, it itself is a big task. If as a civil engineer I could talk, so even providing a shuttering is a big task. So go away with the painting, how to do it. Coming to the some water related structures in our cooling towers, in our pipe connections, everywhere we are facing the problem of corrosion. So just sharing the few pics of this plant that where we are facing the problems. The pipelines, when we are talking about thermal plants, we have a lot many pipelines also for the makeup water requirement, for our various process related environments. So everywhere we are facing the problem of this corrosion. There were some 4 pics of this CW duct where we are facing the problems. All these ducts are underground, so corrosion in that part really create the problems. We have a sea structures also in the sea water. There also the problem of corrosion is more. So the thing is that we are facing a lot many problems, and we had a lot many structures where we are facing the problem to solve upon. This is just a pic of our NTCT cooling tower, where the corrosion related issues are there, and just sharing the pic to how the concrete getting spelled away because of the corrosion of the reinforcement. Tuberculation corrosion is also observed in our fire pipelines. So this is just a problem statement that we are facing a problem which we have to deal upon. As in the morning also, I think the theme of the session also someone relate that managing the corrosion. So we are not avoiding the corrosion, we also managing the corrosion some way. Some of the solutions which we are adopted in our running plants for the mitigations of these corrosion measures. This is the replacement of the material. Of course, we have replaced some of the materials in some of the cases, like in the pipelines. We have replaced the materials of our different areas, approaches, and other things. We have also increased the efficiency of our drift eliminators just to decrease the content of the moisture in the environment, so that our steel structures get less corrosions. Special coatings we adopted for these maintenance works and for this next coating application painting works wherever we are. We are providing in some of these cases concrete encasement, because basically the corrosion we are facing at the interface of a concrete floor and at a steel structure. So if we just provide the concrete encasement, this may prove to be a good result in future. Then cathodic protection we are adopting in our underground pipelines. This is just a case of this corrective measure. It's a simple case that we just provide the concrete encasement to avoid the corrosion after the this repair works done in the pipelines. We just provide the concrete encasement so that the problem could not be get re-originated. We adopted the change in our coating systems also somewhere, where we also take the help of renowned institutions like SICRI and others also. They have provided us good guidelines for the improvement in our painting specifications and in some part of the repainting works. Some good practices as an NTPC we are adopting. One is related to the formation of a corrosion cell for the critical plants. In our critical plants, we have adopted a methodology of protection cell, where we developed a cell, divide the complete plant into different zones, and based on that zone, the protective measures are taken that how the plant is getting affected in different areas. The idea is that when we are saying that C1 to C5 category dividing the complete country, so our idea is that we should divide our plant also maybe in C1 to C5 category, because the condition of C5 category is not exactly in the coastal plant. It may come in the individual plant also. So just I am tweaking some of the slide. This is the painting system, means whatever ISO 12944 provided, we are trying to adopt the best out of that. Just keeping these slides that we have done the after and before effects of this. I am directly coming to the what we need in the future because I have just 1 minute left. So what we need from this forum and from these further programs like this, that effective coating system. What our ED sir has also told that because of the lack of standards, we could not adopt some of the coating criteria, some of the coatings available in the country. So for that we need to work upon. Then tools to predict the corrosion, because prediction is better than prevention. Because prevention is better than cure, that is an old saying, but right now, in the respect of corrosion, we have to say that prediction is better than prevention. And definitely, tools to monitor rate of corrosion, because we are not avoiding the corrosion, we are monitoring the corrosion. So if we have the tools to monitor the rate of the corrosion, at least we can define that where we are and how long we have to go for a particular structure. Just completing my sentence and completing this presentation also by saying that let's play our contribution in this collective war against corrosion so that we can have a better future. Right, sir.
Myself for a post-lunch session. I'm from Shell. So you coming like one of the big utility companies in the world and the one biggest thermal power producer in India. So I would like to have your experience on dealing with corrosion under insulation and how big is it a challenge for you?
Just I missed your last line. If you can please use your mic, I can.
I want to ask you, can you hear me now?
Otherwise, come forward.
Okay.
Come forward.
Now I can hear you.
Yeah. So thank you, very nice presentation. And as the thermal power producer, I want to hear your experience with corrosion under insulation and how you deal with it, how big is it a problem for you?
Corrosion under insulation, what I could understand from your query is we can talk about maybe the pipeline where we are insulating the pipelines, and it may be in some of the structures also where we are providing the insulation. So we are providing the insulation basically to take care of the corrosion, to control the temperatures also. But in some of the areas, even after providing the insulation, we are providing, means not getting the results. Just to add upon, I just have Mr. Santosh Jha sir. He is from mechanical from NTPC only. He is facing lot of problems in pipeline because even after the insulation also. So the thing is that the quality of insulation is no doubt, but the execution of the insulation or the I can say the site work, that need to be monitored with a more qualitative qualitative terms instead of quantitative terms.
I want to get it.
Yep.
Sir.
What will happen? As per MOEF guideline, after 2017 NAT, a specific water consumption is initially what will happen ki there is a 5 and 6 plant is running at 2 to 3 COC. But nowadays what will happen after MOEF notification, all the new plants is running at a specific water consumption at 2.5, and plant is minimum COC we have to maintain 5. So what will happen? Ki again there is a vast role of the because whenever you are recirculating COC increases, so then whatever the TDS or whatever the chloride level, all these things have been drastically increased. So there is not a external corrosion. We should also talk about the internal corrosion due to the high TDS, high silica, high chloride is everywhere. Actually, everywhere what we are facing in problem, there is CW duct. You have seen too much internal corrosion, too much scale deposit. What will happen? Tuberculosis, each and everything, because your plant is running on higher COC. So again, there is we have a Netra people are there, NTPC R&D team is there. So for each and every station, based on the water quality, what is the input? Solapur may something, Varavaka something, whatever the input and what are the COC. They have recommended the water treatment program for each and every station, and where we have to add chemical treatment, strict monitoring of chemical treatment, and we are adding CO2 plants data. By any means, suppose your chemical treatment plant is not running, not happen.
Sir, in the evening today, we have an open discussion. This is a very detailed interaction needed for this corrosion and insulation, which is a very key area. I think there are a lot of people from HPCL, from ONGC, there are a lot of people who face the same problem. Maybe we can take this discussion in detail in the evening. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, thank Mr. Poddar for his presentation. Thank you very much.